Hello everyone, Tawana Michelle here, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Coach and Mental Health Therapist. And today I'm going to talk to you guys about why we need to stop calling people narcissists. I'm going to tell you 3 reasons why we need to quit doing this. Now, I know you may be thinking, what do you mean? If they're narcissists, they're narcissists. I'm going to call them a narcissist. I'm going to say what I think. I'm going to call it as it is. But we need to stop doing that as often as we do. And I'm going to tell you why. So the first reason we need to stop calling people narcissists is that the term is so overused. Now, I think it's a great thing that there is more awareness of narcissistic personality disorder, narcissistic abuse. I think there needs to be awareness. People need to know about these people. People need to know what they're capable of. They need to know that this phenomena exists. Narcissistic abuse is a real thing. But it's just being stated very easily, very loosely, in any situation when there is someone who has a relationship that goes wrong, or if someone engages in a behavior that we don't like or we think isn't appropriate, or someone's morals are maybe questionable or not necessarily what we agree with. All of those things don't make someone necessarily a narcissist, okay? Even if you're in a relationship with someone and they cheat on you, that doesn't make them a narcissist. There is a whole set of criteria that is required for someone to be diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. So we can't just be saying this to people when we don't even know that that's true. They may be behaving as such, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are a narcissist. All of this behavior is not necessarily related to a narcissistic personality disorder. So we need to stop doing that. We need to stop overusing that term. There is a continuum that this exists on, right? Everyone has some level of narcissism. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's in a pathological sense. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have a personality disorder, but we all have, a range of what would be considered narcissistic behavior. And some are even very high on that continuum. They can be really high on the continuum, but still might not be narcissistic in a pathological way where they are intentionally hurting people, where they have like this full-blown narcissistic personality disorder. The main thing is we just need to be careful about labeling people. It can be very damaging. It can be very stigmatizing. You may even feel like, I am absolutely right. I'm 100% sure. I've studied this thing. I understand it. I know about it. And you may. But that doesn't mean you need to go around labeling people, okay? Like I said, I'm guilty of doing it. I try not to do it myself. I am licensed by the state of Texas to be able to diagnose. But I try not to just go around diagnosing people. It's not an appropriate thing to do. It's damaging to the person. And often people are wrong. I've heard stories about someone who was believed to be a narcissist. And, as I am listening to this and putting pieces together and identifying patterns and getting a clear clinical picture, often it doesn't sound like narcissism. Sometimes it sounds like this person has a substance abuse or addiction problem. Sometimes it sounds like, okay, this is basically an anger management problem. Sometimes it sounds like, okay, this is actually more depression. And sometimes with depression, people tend to be more irritable and angry. So it's not always narcissism. Sometimes it is, but it's not always. So I just think, again, we need to be careful and not just be throwing labels around like that, okay? it's overused. That's the first reason we need to refrain from calling everybody a narcissist. And the second reason that I have in my notes about why we need to stop calling everybody narcissist, I kind of already spoke to that. You have to be licensed, credentialed, trained. You have to have professional experience. You have to have, academic training. You have to have clinical experience to be able to diagnose someone. So there are some other mental health diagnoses that people tend to throw around loosely, like bipolar disorder and depression and such. But I guess being a mental health professional, it irks me a little when I hear mental health diagnoses being thrown around. And whether we like it or not, a personality disorder is actually a mental health diagnosis. It's a psychiatric disorder. It's in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Diagnoses. So we don't just go around giving people clinical diagnoses where we're not trained to do that. We're not licensed to do that. I think it's okay to say they seem to have high levels of narcissism, or I think this person may be a narcissist based on what I see. But there are a lot of folks who are just giving people diagnoses, and you don't have the qualifications or experience to do that. And you might not like me saying this, but it's reality. Stop trying to diagnose people. However, I think it's okay to say, I think this person might be a narcissist based on what I see, and maybe talk to someone else about it who can maybe help you identify that, which they shouldn't even be doing that. You can't diagnose someone unless you assess them. But I think you can say, okay, it sounds like you might be dealing with a narcissist. I don't know for sure, but it sounds like maybe. That's very different than saying, oh, this person is a narcissist. And the last and most important reason I think we need to stop calling people narcissists is that because it's so overused, people are becoming desensitized to it. And that's a problem, because when we are talking about increasing awareness of narcissistic behavior and narcissistic abuse, we want to be able to educate without stigmatizing and without overusing. Because when we do that, it's like no one's listening anymore. No one's paying attention anymore. So when people get tired of hearing about something, it becomes a non-issue. So trying to increase awareness by putting this information out there, when it's overused, when it's happening too much and folks are tired of hearing about it, it has the opposite effect. Now no one's listening. Now it's like, okay, and we're tired of hearing about that. And I've even experienced that personally when I was talking to someone about, I don't know, we were watching a movie and I was doing what I'm saying we shouldn't do, right? I'm watching this person's behavior and I'm saying, oh, this person, definitely seems like a narcissist. I'm guilty of all this stuff too. When I say we need to stop, I'm saying we. Am I licensed and trained to diagnose? Absolutely. But I still don't need to be going around calling people narcissists. So I was saying as we were watching this movie that this person definitely, I may have said seems like a narcissist, or I may have said they're definitely a narcissist. I can't remember. But, the response that I got was, yeah, whatever, everybody's narcissist nowadays. And that's kind of what inspired me to make this video, besides my own annoyance every time I go on Instagram and it's just flooded with information about this narcissist and that narcissist. And so I was also starting to become desensitized to it. And I'm like, why am I starting to feel like I'm tired of hearing about this? It's not really having as much as an impact. Why am I getting feedback from others that, they're tired of hearing about this? They're tired of hearing this term being used. And I started to really ponder that, and I realized it's a real problem. So I'm here just to talk about that. That doesn't mean you don't know when you're dealing with a narcissist. That doesn't mean you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the education. You have personal experience in dealing with these people, perhaps. But that doesn't mean that we need to go around labeling them. And secondly, we have to consider that sometimes what looks like narcissism may be something else. That's a reality, okay? So just wanted to put this out here. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. You may totally disagree with me. I'm 100% okay with that. But share your thoughts. Do you think this term is overused? Do you think we should be throwing that label around? If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That really does help my channel. Share this video out with those who you think may benefit. And yes, if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting on? I'd love to have you be a part of this community. And I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Bye.